Hey guys, good morning. Um, I hope the sun isn't too bright. I'm outside and it's like lightly drizzling, which I think is beautiful. But I know that the sun has a weird reflection on me right now. Um, but we'll just push past it. And so I wanted to come to you guys with some morning thoughts. Um, Mainly just because I read something that sparked a thought provoking moment that I wanted to share. And so here we go. I read a comment that said, "Hey, do you have to be a witch in order to use tarot cards, or can you just be a regular person who uses tarot cards?" Now, I don't know what part you guys think I'm going to dive into, but it's not even the tarot card aspect. We'll get to that later on another video, maybe. What I want to talk to you guys about right now today is being so caught up on the word witch that you miss the bigger picture. Understand that the label witch was put on a form of healing, of self healing, that allows you complete freedom from the shackles that society has placed upon you and taught you how to really self induce within yourself. You are perpetuating a cycle once they planted that seed, keeping it going. In a sense, you're keeping yourself locked in this prison, all because of what society tells you is normal. Society knew by labeling this form, any form of natural healing, any form of self guidance, any form of self reflection, growth, divine feminine energy, balance, harmony, by subduing that and triggering and teaching you that it is bad, that it is evil. I mean, like, automatically, your first response is that it is bad, it is evil. Um, they knew that that would keep you in a perpetuating cycle of despair, of um, emotional lack of emotional well being. They knew that it would keep you coming and seeking from others as opposed to learning and embracing how to heal you. You see, there's money in people who um, don't have the knowledge and don't want to heal themselves. And I feel like that is part of what some people bank on. Um, they hold on to the information like it's a secret, and it's not a secret. Um, but let me tell you guys about the time that I totally got scammed and why I keep saying it's important for you to be mindful and follow your own gut and your own intuition, okay? But also the learning lesson that I got out of that. But I don't want to get distracted. So when you think of the terms that describe a quote unquote witch, you see somebody who works with candles, right? Who works with herbs. You see somebody who wears lots of crystals or jewelry. You may even see people who wear the dark colors, which in my opinion, I feel like you assume that when people wear dark colors, it's for a quote unquote witchy reason. Maybe they just like the color black and how it looks on them. Um, but right, that's really all that you see when you're talking about somebody who is a witch. You see them have a grimoire or a book of shadows. So let's start to break some of these things down. Grimoire, book of shadows is no different from you writing in your journal, in your dear diary, right? And take it back one step further. We did that as kids, and if you ever find yourself in therapy, they're going to tell you to get a journal, to buy a journal, to write in a journal. Why? Because that is the most thought provoking way to understand you. You write it down, and it gives an insight on just how judgmental you are to yourself. It gives an insight on what triggers you and why. It gives an insight on why and how you respond to certain triggers. Sometimes we ask, like, well, what did you say after that? And it's like, well, not verbatim, but I said something to the effect of X, Y, and Z. But if we take a good look in our journal, it'll help us understand why we're triggered about certain things. It'll also help us to understand that we're not crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, people think that when they respond or that they go off, you know, somebody took them there, or somebody, they feel bad about it. Never mind the fact that they asked the person or told the person in a calm voice the first time not to do something, or express how they felt the first time not to do something. What happens is that person then continues in that same very moment to overstep your boundaries and disrespect your boundaries, and that's what makes you react. You understand the difference between an action and reaction, and these are all things that you'll understand once you start writing in your journal. Some reactions are called for. Understand that having your journal is, I think I said it's the best way to identify your triggers, yes, but understand that your journal is the key to your shadow work. Everybody wants to know where to start, how to start. Get a journal and be consistent in it. Y'all can't do shadow work if you're not going to be consistent. Consistency is fucking key. I said I wasn't going to cuss, and here I go. But you know what? It flows, and it is what it is. Consistency is key. And here's the thing about consistency. Consistency helps you to build trust within you, okay? Because when you don't trust other people, the truth of the matter is you really don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself to pick the appropriate people to be around you. It's not that you don't trust people, you don't trust you. Because if you trusted you wouldn't have a problem keeping people around, because you would trust that you would recognize those red flags and actually act upon them instead of waiting for something to happen to you. So consistency helps you to build trust within you. And then once you're able to trust yourself, that's when you become able to trust other people. It doesn't happen any other way. So get a journal and be consistent. But a book of shadows is the healer's journal. It is the things that they've done to heal themselves, the rituals that they did, how it responded, how it reacted. You know what I'm saying? It's no different. Let's discuss rituals while I'm here. A ritual is just something that is performed. It is an act that is performed on a consistent basis for a certain outcome. It's no different from you waking up and saying a prayer in the morning and having your cup of coffee, or praying over your cup of coffee and giving thanks. That is a ritual. It's no different from the Thursday night bath that you give yourself, as you pay homage and gratitude, a prosperity bath. You know what I'm saying? That's your ritual. That's your self-love ritual. Don't get caught up. Stop getting caught up on these labels and these words, because it's going to be your downfall. A ritual is something that you consistently do for a desired outcome. I think that's the easiest way that I can do it. So if you have made a goal to read 10 pages a day, that has now become a ritual, guys. If you made a goal to get up and go exercise, that is part of your self-care ritual. I do this every day at 8:30 without fail. That's your ritual. Stop getting caught up on words. I go to church every Sunday. That's a ritual. Saying 10 Hail Marys is a ritual. Meditation is a ritual. Yoga practice is a ritual. The way you eat is a ritual. Mindfulness is a ritual. If you don't like the words, substitute them for something else. Let's see, what else did I say? Candles, right? I said that in the beginning. Okay, so they pray over candles. Who cares? That's what makes them a witch. So you don't know anybody else who uses candles to pray for something or manifest something. Think about it really, really, really hard. everybody uses candles. There's so many times you can drive on the side of the road and at the side of an accident and see people have left candles there burning inside of somebody's house. That's why they sell them in the grocery stores. They've normalized it everywhere else except for you taking it upon yourself to do it for you. They've normalized it. It's in grocery stores. You go get you a Catholic candle anywhere. You go get you a candle with the saint anywhere. Fucking Food for Less, Ralph's, Vaughn's. Shit, the Dollar Tree has them now. Stop letting people normalize it for them and tell you it's bad for you. That's the part. Herbs. So working with herbs makes you a witch? Here's something that I've learned while taking my Ayurvedic program. Because we use herbs to heal. And they use herbs to heal. They chant to their many deities for health, wealth, and safety. It's very culture rich, this form of healing, but it's very effective. And they incorporate mind, body, and spirit, which is the theme of what I do. You know what I'm saying? Holistically attuned, whole, complete body system. They do it, and they do not take on the word witch. They take on Ayurvedic practitioner, wellness counselor. You see, a lot of your quote-unquote witches have these same titles: nurse, healer, yoga instructor, therapist. And this is how you know this is how you know they normalize it for them, because it's good for the money. Remember I said that earlier. Now there is integrative psychology that a lot of colleges are picking up as a major. Integrative meaning they are taking a holistic approach and looking at the body's aura and shit like that for therapy. But if anybody else does it without a license, then they're a witch. Y'all got to stop getting caught up on labels. And you got to stop thinking that a degree equals substance, because it doesn't. It does not. You can easily get your teachings from your ancestors. That is the whole point of a grimoire, to pass that knowledge down to your children and your children's children, so that they're not lost and looking for it the way that you had to when you put that grimoire together. So, you guys let them strip it from you and put a derogatory term on it. And I say derogatory because that's the knee-jerk reaction that people have when they hear the word witch. You let them put a derogatory term on it, and that automatically discredits people. So if you look at me and you say, oh, it's because she's a witch, that automatically, in a lot of people's eyes, it cuts out the importance of the message. You think that it's discredited because it's coming from a quote-unquote witch. But let somebody else tell it to you for $700 an hour, you're going to be like, oh, that makes so much sense. Thank you, doctor. I mean, it's your money if that's how you choose to spend it, but understand the hypocrisy of it all and just how stupid that sounds. You think that it's better advice because it can, and y'all, don't get dumb. Don't take this somewhere else and start thinking that I'm saying that your medical health and shit like that shouldn't come from doctors or practitioners. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about your ritualistic practices, the things that you guys deem witchery, and so you run from. I just think that that's interesting because the term witch has such a derogatory name. And so you guys need to learn to distinguish the things that they purposely label to keep you from it. Do you think that they really want people learning how to heal themselves? We're talking about billion-dollar corporations falling at the hands of nature. It's just, it's interesting to me because because it's so easy for you guys um, to discredit because of that label. And so, anyways, back to the herbs. Understand that if you feel like herbs is witchery, meanwhile you're sitting here, burning your sage or burning your frankincense, um, drinking your teas, these are different ways that you're using herbs, right? A lot of you guys take your little baths and you think it's so romantic with the roses in the bath. Um, you're utilizing herbs in the same sense. So don't get caught up on that, okay? All herbs have spirits attached to them. Herbs have healing properties attached to them. And so the minute that you start to utilize them, the minute you see how quickly things start to manifest and become effective. All y'all using essential oils, Green Witch. My point is, though, don't get caught up on the title. Um, Yeah, I think that's it. Maybe if I took notes before I came on here to talk to you guys, I would remember everything that I labeled. But it's just interesting because we're just taught that things are bad, and we find any way. If you don't identify with the label witch, nobody's forcing you to. You don't have to. It There's that meme floating around that's like, it's interesting that we were taught to fear the witches and not the people who burnt them alive. You guys think about that? That's so. And it's everything in society, though. You're taught to fear black people and not the people who savagely hung them from trees and raped their children, and peeled their skin off their backs. No, you're taught to fear the black man. You're taught that black women are aggressive. It's this. It's You guys are never taught to fear the aggressor. And you guys don't even second guess it. You don't even think twice about it. Instead, you ask dumbass questions like, can I use tarot without being a witch? Who the fuck cares if they look at you? Sis, I don't give a fuck what you call yourself, but the moment you grab a tarot deck, they're going to look at you like a witch. They're going to look at you like the devil's companion. And it doesn't matter. It does not matter. In the Bible, it's a prophet. If it's you in your own store, it's a witch. If it is man-made and created and full of chemical compounds, it's a pharmaceutical good. If it's nature and from the earth, it is witchery. It's green witch healing. It is, unethical in that sense. If it's a saint candle, then it is acceptable. If it's a candle based upon any other deity or orisha, it's devil worshiping. I just want you guys to think. Think. Because the world is going through their awakening process right now, and there's so many people waking up to it, and I am so happy to see you guys. But what I need you to do is curb the judgment before you come in. Don't be like, I wanna be a part of it, but I don't. Curb the judgment, not necessarily the learning process. And here's the thing. This is why they really hid it from you guys. Because in order to really be powerful in anything that you're manifesting, you have to have self love. You have to go through the journey. You have to do the shadow work, which is healing. You have to face your fears. You have to release your judgments. You have to release your ego. Your ego is what keeps them in business. Your fear is what keeps them in business. You have to release all that stuff, and then you unlock. And that's why they labeled it as bad. So, I say all this to say if the label doesn't fit you, don't take it. It's okay. However, what I want you to be mindful of is it's the same practice. So I don't care what label you call yourself. Stop letting society dictate to you all what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. That's where your shadow aspect comes from. And when you're doing the work, you need to start honoring your triggers because your triggers are your teaching mechanisms. They're the things that enlighten you as to what you need to learn from. So, I hope this was helpful to some people, to whoever it needed to reach, and um, take this. I know you guys think like, oh, this is the boring stuff, but this is the stuff that really makes you empowered in doing your workings. Listen, y'all don't need people. You guys know a lot more than you think you do. You just want the validation. You don't need it though. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you're going to be up and running and doing your own thing, you know? And that's such a proud moment because the goal, the goal for most, I'm not going to say all, but for most people who do this because they are natural healers, the goal is to assist you so that you can be empowered to do it yourself, not so you can depend on someone else to do it, because then all we're doing is stepping right into the shoes of the people that we're telling you to steer away from, and that's not cool. To me, that's not cool. I think that when I give classes and things like that, I'm not charging for the knowledge. The knowledge is free. The knowledge is there. The knowledge is out there. I'm charging for my time because this is my business. You know what I'm saying? This is me away from my kids helping on a spiritual journey. The knowledge is free. You know what I'm saying? The knowledge is there. You just got to pick up a book and read, or you got to do the work to find an elder or whatever. But even you should still be respectful of people's time. I don't care if you don't get the knowledge from me. Let's say you find somebody else and they're just talking to you and giving it to you. Universe says that reciprocity is very important, meaning you can't just take. You need to give, um, because then it when you give, it evens the scales. You don't ever want to cause an imbalance anywhere. So think of it that way. If I'm giving you an hour or two or three of my time, understand that that's an hour, 2 or 3 of my time away from my family or my 5 kids or my husband or my household or me. So what you're doing is you're paying for my time. You're not paying for my knowledge. The knowledge is free, and I love giving it. You know what I'm saying? Um, but if I'm dedicating specific hours to you, that's what you're paying for, my time. You're not paying for the knowledge. You can pick up a book and find the knowledge anywhere. You're paying for that one on one. You're paying for that interactive question and answer. You're paying for that knowledge that not everybody puts in a book, you know? Um, and some people be like, oh, I'm going to give you some, but I'm not going to give you all. Well, that's fine. Maybe because that's more one of those things where some things you learn through your trial and error. And possibly because some things work for some and not for others. What works for me might not always work for you. I've established different relationships with my spirit guides and my ancestors. I've established different relationships when I'm working with planetary seals. And so that's what that is, different deities, you know. You establish your own relationships and things will work different from you, and so take it like that. But I don't know, stay away from these ego driven people. Stay away from people who think that the knowledge is a secret. It's not a secret. Your practice is not a secret, and you're no different from me. We're all the same. We're all on this journey of life. um, Enjoy it though. Enjoy the journey. Stay away from people who are so condescending too. um, who have to be the smartest people in the room. You know, you don't worship. Stop putting people on pedestals. That's what you guys need to do. Understand that you are just as powerful as any person out here. You're just as much as a master manifester as anybody else. Stop putting people on pedestals, because when those people fall, you're fucking heartbroken, and now you're questioning everything about yourself. Why? Because you put that person on a pedestal. No, don't put anybody on the pedestal. Put yourself on the pedestal. Feed yourself. Feed your goals. Ignite that fire within you, not anybody else. It's okay to admire people and see them for goals and shit like that, but don't put people on a pedestal. And don't feed their ego. So, in closing, this was a lot about a lot. I hope you guys got something out of it. Um, and that is all. See, this is why I write scripts out. This is why I keep notes, because I just ramble about whatever Spirit wants me to talk about. So, you guys have a great day. Don't be surprised if you see me later on. It's so super early right now, but see y'all later. Bye.